We just talked
Yay! My God.
When you blew that kiss, who was it for, and why did you
Yo.
blow it?
It's for everyone over there. When I hit that shot, I said,
To that game? Jeez, that's bold. We gotta play them again now.
it was for all the fans.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Lila.
Sorry to get off the question, just because it's about DB. Um, with DB hitting, those back-to-back triples in the fourth, and shot before it seemed like every time that the mid-six got into your guys' lead there, she had a response. Just could you just speak to just how huge her play was for you guys there?
Yeah, I mean, she clearly had the hot hand in the fourth quarter. We knew what action we wanted to play. She's got a 4 on her, trying to guard her through ball screens, which is a tough job to do. And she hit one, and we just kept calling the number until they could stop it.
Good job now.
Any other questions? Vicky, go ahead.
You got knocked down in between those two 3-pointers too. Like on defense, you kind of got up and then came and made another one.
Yeah.
Just can you? Is it just like adrenaline at that point, like that? Just kind of keep shooting.
Yeah, I just want to win the game. So whatever it takes to win the game. These type of games are tough, especially when you come off a game like Seattle where it was just like everything works. So sometimes the focus is and the mental part is not there. So it's just like this way you got to next game and lock down a little bit. And I didn't feel like our focus was there today as a team. So whatever it takes to win those type of games, you got to get them while you can in this league because it's tough to win.
You guys hit a ton of shots right as the clock was ready to expire, the shot clock, and then at the end of the half, and then at the end of the third quarter, Todd hit that one. Is that just that's just like a backbreaker for Washington when you hit those? Is that obviously you practice that situation, but are you just confident in that situation? Like AT gives it to you and you just fire it up?
I think I gave it to her that time at the end. So, but yeah, I mean, whenever you hit those type of shots, it kind of give you that energy boost to go into the next quarter. Especially, I think the one tie hit was huge because we were down, as a matter of fact. So that one kind of give you that burst, like, all right, here we go, fourth quarter time. So that was pretty huge of her.
Azar and then Mark.
In the fourth, it seemed like you were getting open shots, and open threes. Were you kind of shocked about that? I mean, being on the history of you started getting hot and everything, were you not a little shocked? I think you were.
I don't necessarily say I was open. I think we were running the right actions to give me the right screens, and I was just making the reads off of it. So, yeah, I think that's credit to Steph to seeing that. Alyssa told me to as well. So I think we just ran the right plays to get the right reads at the right time.
Mark?
Hey, Dee. First off, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I was talking to Nate the other day about finishing through contact and kind of figuring out pacing in the half court. Obviously, you guys are very different kinds of wings. But
Very different, because I'm not going in there like that.
But what have you seen from her in terms of her ability? She really is improved as a finisher this year. You kind of seen the way she's attacking on drives.
For sure. I think she's the most aggressive attacker that we have on our team. No matter who's in front of her, what's in front of her, she's going to get to that basket. And I think she's just very confident in her game right now. Her three-point game is falling. So a lot of people are coming up, and if that happens, she just takes off to the basket. So just very proud of her of reading. I think she took a huge step this year in reading the game a little bit more and, finishing at the basket. And that's the type of aggressiveness we need from her. So.
Lila, go ahead.
You had, a couple big shots there towards the end of the first half. What changed for you guys after, they went on that 10-1 run to take some of that momentum back going into the halftime break?
I think we picked it up on defense a little bit. We got aggressive and got some easy baskets. They are a team that also plays, tough defense. They rely on their defense. So once we figured out how to pick it apart a little bit, we kind of roll with the punches. But I think our defense kind of dictates our offense, especially with the team that we have. And when we lock down on defense, I feel like we all get comfortable and flow a little bit.
One more, and then we'll go to Zoom.
I was going to ask just AT, Tiana Hawkins had, a big game today. Just what was it like kind of going back and forth with her as, your former Maryland teammate and just to see her playing this
No, I mean, this is the level she's always capable. It's about opportunity. So for me, it's great that she's finally getting the opportunity that she deserves. She's killing overseas, and she's a great player in this league and somebody that I played a lot of years with. So really happy to see her doing so well.
Jacqueline on Zoom, last question.
Hey guys, just going off of that, kind of what did you see from the Mystics overall that kind of opened up the floor and allowed them to get into the paint today?
What we see from the Mystics?
Yeah, they had 46 paint points, so what was working in the paint?
Yeah, I think they exploited our pick and roll defense a little bit. Our rotations were late, and we didn't. As a matter of fact, we let Brittany Sykes get to the paint and distribute the ball. And when we rotated, it was like a drop pass or a spray out for a three. So I don't think we did a great job in our rotations. So I don't think we were focused enough against this team. They're a great team, and yeah, they got to the paint a lot on us, and our defense rotations were not there. But we got to win.
Just my last one for either of you, almost at the halfway point of the season. Is there anything that feels like it's really clicking really well at this point? And, what else kind of needs to be improved moving forward?
Come on. I think our pace right now, I guess we keep saying this, but we lost, like I said, a huge piece in Breezy, which it opens it up a little bit more for us to, drive and get to the basket a little bit more and outside shots. So I think right now, just our pace and how we plan, the quickness, how we get up and down the court, the aggressiveness on defense is all working, but we also trying to figure it all out as well, because we got a lot of people playing different positions that they never played before. So just trying to figure it out still on the fly.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but it was a win. It's sometimes you're going to have those nights. We didn't have it for whatever reason. We know we have to be better. We know that individually and collectively, we've got to be better. We are fortunate enough to make some winning plays in some big moments that got us over the hump. So we're thankful and fortunate to be able to get the win, but we've got to be better moving forward.
Questions? Lila, go ahead.
Nikisha went down, that ended to be there in the second half. In the second quarter, tried to come in the start of the second half, and then went out. Do you guys know kind of the nature of the injury? Can you speak a bit more about that?
I don't know exactly. I know she was dealing with a hit she took a number of weeks ago too. So I don't know exactly what it is, but certainly I think it was the first play of the third quarter. You could tell that she wasn't right. And Ty came in and did a great job. So, that's the luxury of having, a backup point guard like Ty Harris who can come in and immediately make an impact. And she did a great job, I felt like, of keeping us organized in the second half and getting us into actions that we needed to get into.
Any other questions? Vicky, go ahead.
So 13 threes, and most of them were really clutch, right? Right at the end of the shot clock. I know that's what you talk about, making winning plays, when they had to, but just talk about those situations, how DeWanna can just kind of hit a three, in the clutch every time.
Yeah, DB is a tough matchup. You put post player on her and she can stretch the floor and we can run her off of screens, and you put a little on her and we can post her up and she can shoot over the top of them. She got some really good looks. I felt like she stayed active offensively, and that's a good thing for us. And her teammates found her. Some of the other ones that we hit, that were at the end of shot clocks and whatever, every once in a while it takes a little bit of luck. And we had a few of those where we had a little bit of luck. Just thankful that they went in.
Azar, then Mark.
Hey, Coach, I'm a little ask you this is time she had 22 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. She doesn't seem to be getting the attention as far as the MVP, especially with the level of play, especially with DeWanna Jones going down. It doesn't seem like she gets the recognition that she so really deserves, especially with the team. She plays a very integral part in this team succeed. You could just speak about her play and her part and how great
Yeah, you know, she's definitely having an MVP caliber year. I mean, she's doing everything. You know, I don't think she typically has done everything, and you've seen it in her numbers, but I think she's even taken it to another level this season. And her leadership has been outstanding as well. And, you know, she just really is the heart and soul of this team and this franchise. But Alyssa Thomas would trade a win for the recognition, you know, any day of the week, which I think is one of her greater qualities, is that, you know, she doesn't really care. She's going to go out and she's going to do her job and she's going to bust her butt and she's going to help put us in positions to win. And at the end of the day, the win is what she cares about.
Mark? Oh, go ahead. Follow up and then Mark. That's okay.
Clearly you forgot more basketball. Today, especially with the three-team race today, it looks Washington, New York. How important was that win? Even though every win is important, but how on the playoff level, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of that was seen in playoff basketball?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard because every game feels like playoff basketball because it's, you know, every team is so good. And, you know, there's not a ton of separation outside of Vegas, you know, up top. And so, you know, I feel like every time we step on the floor, it matters. And we talked about that today when we were, you know, lax with the ball and just didn't execute on either end. We don't have the luxury of doing that. You know, we want to position ourselves to win a championship, and, you know, seeding matters. You know, getting hot at the right time matters. Staying hot matters. You know, all of those things matter. You know, this is a Washington team that's beat up, that's dealing with some injury issues, but have terrific pieces who still, you know, are some of the best players in the world. And so for us, you know, I feel like, you know, we had to still give them, number one, the respect that they deserve, but number two, have a high attention to detail. And we didn't necessarily do that, and they had players that stepped up. I mean, just like we've had players that have stepped up in the absence of Breezy, they've had players who have stepped up in the absence of the players that are out for injury with them too. And so for us, you know, every game feels like a playoff game. Every game is important, and we got to bring it every game.
Mark?
Hey, Seth, first off, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
You know, obviously with DeWanna, like I was talking to her the other day about finishing through contact, and it feels like it's been a really big stride for her, clearly, and complete spirit. I was wondering just what you feel like, that, you know, when you were watching this team last year and seeing what she's doing now, especially obviously coming off the knee injury, you know, what you've been impressed with from her, and you know, what, you know, how much of that has been, you know, what you guys saw in the offseason thought she could improve on this year.
Well, the thing I feel like she's improved the most on is her three-point shooting. You know, you would look at her from a season ago and think she's downhill right driver, and, you know, defensive energy and intensity, terrific guard rebounder. But she's been making the right plays, you know, finding the right pass, knocking down three-point shots. She's been in the gym. You know, earlier in the season, I know that there was, you know, some frustration, you know, on her end, but she was working back from injury. And I think that she really got intentional about, you know, when you see her before the game, I mean, she's doing all her prehab and her rehab and everything that she has, her activation, everything that she has to do to get her body ready to go out there and impact for us. And she's done that. And she's in the gym, you know, after practice, working with Bree and, you know, getting shots up and working on her game. And that's what it takes. There are very few people who come into this league and automatically are playing heavy minutes and a heavy role. And DeWanna has progressed every single year and positioned herself to not just, you know, come in and give us an impact because of her energy, but come in and give us an impact because of her energy and production. And we need that. Mm-hmm.
Becky?
DeWanna, in between the two big threes that she made, she got knocked down pretty hard on defense and then got back up and came down and hit a three. Like, she's just so competitive. Like, this is like her 13th or 14th year in the league, and she just kind of still makes them pay.
She does. And, you know, DB has stepped up in a lot of ways in the absence of Breezy. You know, not just scoring the basketball, but rebounding the ball, you know, defensively, facilitating. But the thing that I love most about her is her leadership. I mean, you know, really bringing people together, talking in the timeouts, talking in the huddles, you know, in the locker room as well. it's so nice as a coach when you have an AT and a DB who don't just, exemplify it with what they do every day, which is important. You have to, because you can't talk about it unless you're going to be about it. And they do both, and their teammates respect them, and they respect their voice. And DB's been a part of a lot of different teams, and she understands what it takes, and she knows that we still have special opportunity in front of us. And I think she's playing as well as she's played in a number of years. And it seems to me like she's having fun, which is the most important thing. But yeah, her ability to get back up and to make people pay is important for us.
Lila?
You use your coach's challenge there, in the fourth, ended up working in your guys' favor, and you guys were able to end up, building the lead. After that, just how do you kind of, evaluate that just throughout the course of the game when you do and don't kind of want to use that, and in that moment, deciding to use it at that point in the game?
It's a hard thing because you don't really see, we're still working through some kinks from a technological standpoint to be able to really quickly, evaluate things on the bench. But we have Kevin Owens, who's our video coordinator, who I can see out there on the floor, and oftentimes if I'm thinking about it, I'll look at him and he'll either tell me no or yes. From a strategy standpoint, I don't want to use it too early if I don't have to, unless it's a foul that's putting us, at a disadvantage, a third foul on someone, a fourth foul on someone. We want to be sure because we use a timeout and because we don't have the challenge at the end of the game. So if it's going to be something early, and he was very sure. So shout out to Kev, good job. And it was a big possession for us.
Kayla?
Coach, DeWanna just spoke about the lack of rotation defensively, ultimately leading to 46 points in the game for Washington. Do you think that since losing Breezy, has that been something that you guys have noticed? Is it something specifically that you think Washington was doing today, mucking it up, or was it just one of those days?
I think a combination of all of those things. First and foremost, it's at the point of attack. We didn't guard our yard. Our one-on-one defense was not very good today. Now, we let people get by us, and when we talk about guarding our yard, it's like we have to guard 1 yard to the right and left on our own before our help is there. And we don't have a defense for straight line drives if they get by us. And we did not take enough pride in guarding our yard. Sykes is so good at getting downhill. And she really got what she wanted, not just at the rim in terms of her scoring, but forcing us into rotation and facilitating. And then the other thing, I thought their bigs did a really good job of their timely dives in the on-ball screen defense. And we talked, I think, pregame about our point of attack and on-ball screen defense. Oftentimes if we make a mistake and we jump back into the screener, we put our bigs at a disadvantage because now they've got to stay longer, and then that opens up that dive. And Washington is excellent in their offensive spacing to open up the things that they want to get on the offensive end of the floor. So I feel like, yes, of course we miss Breezy inside. She cleans up so many things for us, in the paint. But at the same time, we were about a C game today in terms of our defensive energy, intensity, and execution.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.